Okay, so I had another thought today. So we'll call this day 41B. So I was reading Matthew 7 while I was getting a pedicure, and a thought came to me. And I began to think about fruit inspection. And, I began to think about the tree when we inspect fruit. Sometimes, when I was growing up, we had plum trees in our backyard. And sometimes we'd go out there, the blooms would be there. And then as the blooms turned into fruit, and then the fruit began to appear. Sometimes we would eat the fruit before it was ready because it looked like it was ready. And so the thought that occurred to me is, when people fruit inspect and they look at young Christians or look at people's lives and they question or begin to challenge their Christianity, sometimes you may be looking at fruit that hasn't quite ripened yet. Sometimes we have a tendency to check people's fruit before God's done bringing it and making it ready for harvest. We want to pick at it and talk about it, and sometimes we want to pick it early, which kills it. And then we wonder why people don't change, and it's because we didn't pick their fruit before they was even ready to deal with it, or God was even focusing on that area in their life. We go and we touch it and we mess with it, and then it makes it rotten, and then we blame them because we're messing with their fruit. And then when I read that scripture even further, I begin to think about who actually gets the opportunity to cut down the tree or determine that a tree is rotten and not useful to produce fruit. And I think in the end, God makes that decision because He is the one that knows for sure if a person's life is wrong or right, or if it's good fruit or bad fruit. And so I just want us to, as fruit inspectors, for us to again, it goes back to love, is to remember to love people, that we don't know everything, that everything that appears to be, that appears to look good isn't necessarily ripe and ready. We have a tendency, I think about that fruit again, and we want to compare the unripened fruit with the finished product, and they don't look the same. So we will say that apple's not good because it's not at a mature place, but it's still an apple, and it's just not mature yet. And it's still going to be good. It's just not where we want it yet. So we need to stop picking, and we need to be mindful of the fruit that we're looking at and know what it is, what kind of fruit it is, and know, to do a little bit more fruit study, to do a little more time learning about that fruit before we begin picking at it. So I think we're doing more harm to the tree than we really know or understand. So this is just a message today to the fruit inspectors.